about Ben? Everybody give Ben a round of applause. Okay, Ben. I have in my hand right here for you a dollar bill. And you can have this dollar bill, or you can have what's behind door number 1.
Door number one.
He's chosen door number 1, everybody. Let's go see what it is. Behind door number 1 is a 7-pound jar of baked beans. Everybody, give Ben a round of applause. We're always looking for something better than what we have in front of our face. There's always something better out there. Now, usually, it doesn't mean that the situation that we're in is bad. It's not necessarily bad. We're just kind of curious about what else is out there. What if I'm missing out on something great? It's human. We like to keep our options open. When I was here at Mid-America, I coined the term, the Mid-America No. I'm sure all of you have come across that. That's when you go up to somebody and you're like, hey, Brady, you want to go to the movies? You know, a bunch of us are going to go at 9 o'clock, and Brady says, yeah, you know, that sounds kind of fun. I might be there. You know, I might call you to see if maybe we want to go. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I might see you guys there. Why do we do that? Because we want to make sure that nothing else better comes along than that 9 o'clock movie. We want to make sure that we keep our options open, that just in case something better comes along, we've got our options open. When it comes to our relationship with God, a lot of times we want to make sure that we keep our options open. We want to experience life. We want to have lived. You know, we tell ourselves that I've got an idea of what this whole God thing is about. Now I'd kind of like to see what else is out there. We leave God's love for us and his desire to have a relationship with us on the table. And we leave that because we think we're going to miss out on something better. We want to make sure that we know what's behind door number 1. And essentially, we've taken the love of God and turned it into a game show from the 70s. Yet another reason for our adultery towards God is basic human impatience. Our need for immediate gratification. Now, I'd like to do a little test on everybody, so I'm going to ask a series of 3 questions. If I ask this question, you say, yeah, that describes me, I'd like you to stand up and then sit down. First question. Do you nod a lot when someone is talking slowly in an effort to keep them moving along? If you say yes, this is you, please stand up. All right, sit down. When you stop at a red light with 2 or more lanes with cars in them, do you ever try to anticipate which car looks faster so you can get behind that car? All right, sit down. One more. Do you ever try to gauge which line at the grocery store will be the quickest and get in that line? And stay standing if this is you. And if it turns out you picked the slower line, are you ticked? All right, sit down. Let's face it, we are not a patient people. We live in the age of now. Fast food is never fast enough. Instant pudding, it takes longer than an instant. I was going and looking through the internet for some other time-saving gadgets, and I came across what is known as the Pasta Express. The Pasta Express actually makes making pasta quicker and easier. Here is an actual testimonial from someone who loves the Pasta Express. I used to hate waiting for a big pot of water to boil, then breaking pasta to make it fit, then stirring it to keep it from clumping. Now, I just put spaghetti in the pasta express, pour in boiling water, and snap on the lid. Perfect pasta every time. Are you kidding me? It's pasta. You boil some water and put noodles in it. How hard or time-consuming can that be? But you know what? We are looking for God to work in such fast and instant ways. I know I am. God doesn't work in my time frame. He doesn't work fast enough. I've got needs, God, and I need them fulfilled now. So we get impatient and we leave. Finally, one of the biggest reasons why we leave is the feeling that God expects too much out of me. Maybe we think that it's too hard to stay in this relationship with God. We tend to get focused on the things that we're told we have to do to stay in a relationship with God. We have to pray every day. You have to read your Bible every day. You have to read a nice little devotional book with your Bible every day. You have these to-do lists you have to do. You have to smile at people when you don't like them or you don't want them. There's a lot of haves there. But maybe the biggest one of all is found in Matthew 16:24, when Jesus says that we are to deny ourselves and carry our cross. Don't do what I want to do and carry an instrument of death. Where do I sign up? This does not sound pleasant to me. And you know what else? The world doesn't ask me to do that. The world doesn't ask me to do what I don't want to do. The world doesn't create a to-do list for me. The world, that's a lot easier. But there's a systemic problem when we have this kind of thinking. We have allowed ourselves to become too focused on what we have to do. We've become too focused on our actions being that which holds this relationship together. Mike Bickle, the director of the International House of Prayer, says if your approach to becoming a lover of God is to try harder, you'll fail every time. Let me repeat that. If your approach to becoming a lover of God is to try harder, you're going to fail every time. So now this comes back to our story in Hosea. Israel and Gomer definitely had not done anything to deserve the love of God or Hosea. If anything, they've done everything that they could possibly do to run away from this love. And yet, towards the end of chapter 2, we see how great the love of God truly is. God is chasing after Israel, even though they continually deny him, even though they continually look to other gods. This doesn't make any sense. Throughout all of this, he uses relational language when speaking of Israel. He tells her that he's going to speak tenderly to her, that he longs to have Israel call him husband again. As one writer articulates, with great anticipation, God looks forward to the day when relationship is genuinely restored with his people. In verses 19 and 20, he says, I will make you my wife forever, showing you righteousness and justice, unfailing love and compassion. I will be faithful to you and make you mine. Now let's go back to where we left off with Hosea and Gomer. Gomer hasn't given up her life of prostitution, and she's abandoned her husband and her children. Even still, Hosea is seeking Gomer out in the middle of her prostitution. Why not just let her go, Hosea? Just let her go. She wants to live her own life. She doesn't want to have anything to do with you. Why do you do this to yourself? Why do you continue to chase after her? If we read a little deeper into Hosea's name, we find out that his name means salvation. And salvation means being saved from a condition or state, from an undesirable condition or state. So why does Hosea continually go after Gomer? Why does Hosea put himself through this? Because that is what Hosea was born to do. Late one night, Hosea sees that Gomer's gone again, and he decides he's going to go out and look for her. So he puts on his clothes and gets out of bed in the middle of the night and starts walking up and down the streets. He still hasn't found her. He's been out there for a while now, asking, have you seen Gomer? Have you seen my wife? And finally, he comes across a man who says, yeah, I saw her at the bar last night with a couple of guys. So he goes, and on his way there, something catches his eye off in the alleyway. So he goes to check it out. He sees that it's Gomer. He sees the woman that has caused him so much trouble and so much pain and so much heartache. And you know what Hosea does? He dips down and scoops up his wife, and he takes her home. Do you see the constant in both these stories? Do you see the constant between Hosea and Gomer and Israel and God? Nowhere did Israel and Gomer do anything to deserve the love they were being shown. They did not do a thing. They were sought out. In the middle of their broken lives that they had created for themselves, in the middle of their junk that had overwhelmed them, love was lavished on them. He would not be God if he didn't have love for us. In our ugliness, in our adultery, in our brokenness, he is seeking you and I out. He searches for us, and when he finds us, he dips down low, scoops us up, and takes us home. Even when we have run from him, even when we've pushed him aside and said, we want nothing to do with you, he still loves us. We are being reconciled to him through his action, not our own. I have to be honest, I didn't remember everything that I learned here at Mid-America, but there are the words of Dr. Larry Fine that will forever be burned on my brain. It's not about doing. It's about done. It's not about what you or I can do or accomplish in our spiritual journey. It's about the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. He has this crazy, unwavering love towards you and I. There's nothing we can do to lose it, and there's nothing that we can do to earn it. We've done nothing. We've done absolutely nothing in our lives to merit the unconditional love of God. And yet he gives it to you freely. God has changed your name. Today, he calls you my people. Today, he calls you loved. Amen.